Hello, I am Ashley Love from T2P TV, joined this evening by Scott Nixon from Quantum, and we are filming JWorld Thursday Night Racing. Scott, tell me about yourself.
Hi, I'm Scott Nixon. I'm at work at Quantum Sales here in Annapolis. I work with a lot with One Designs here around the world with the group, and we're excited to be here tonight. The breeze is blowing from the northeast, which obviously is a weird summertime direction, but looks like a pretty big low off the coast of the Carolinas, so that's kind of messing up our weather, and we've had really high tides, and looks like some bad weather tomorrow, but tonight looks beautiful.
Well, I hope on behalf of Quantum you accept our thanks for making this video coverage possible.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's great.
Wow, Scott, that is a short line for that many boats. How do you ensure that you are on the line on time?
Yeah, well, everybody set up pretty early, so everybody was on time there. There's a little bit of midline sag, but you can see that everybody, when they set up really early, they're really slow. So it's going to take a while for the boats to accelerate. The guys that accelerate first will probably hop into the lead here.
Banger Packet down at the pin is Tony Parker. They are leading this division by quite a bit. The battle is really for second. Scott, we're seeing a huge split in the J24s. Pete Castle on Spaceman Spiff tacked early onto a lifted port tack. How's that going to turn out, though?
Yeah, we'll see. These guys started obviously at the boat end, tacked kind of early. Tony Parker, who won the left end and won the pin, is just now tacked on the port. So massive leverage, like you said, and it looks to be a little left favored as you look up the beat.
Moving back over to the J22s, Zeke Horowitz with Emily Horowitz, his new wife, right?
I think so.
In the lead on stormy weather.
Yeah, really nice jibe. Looks like those guys went from the left side, did their first jibe here and close to ley line and have a nice lead.
First to the leeward mark, Zeke Horowitz. He is a world champion. They won the J22 Worlds when they were right here in Annapolis a couple of years ago. Coming into the mark, the overlapped Jake Doyle and 660 Ian Berman. Jake made up a lot of ground on that downwind leg.
Yeah, did a really nice jibe, jibed right on top of 660 and kind of held him out and gained probably 50 yards on that run. So really nice job by those guys.
Especially with the breeze kind of shutting off here, those wind shadows just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, fleet's pretty tight here in the 4, 5, 6 spot. Big battle here, 949. Chris Youngy's done a really nice job to get inside here, and he's right in the race. Some nice boat kinetics there on 1464 as they flatten the boat and accelerate around the mark. Still looking upwind, looks like a little more breeze on the left side of the course. Nice pressure over there, so I think guys will try to make the high lane work here.
The left worked out for the J24's upwind as well. Tony Parker, bang your packet, around with a, 2-3 minute lead.
Peter Rich rounding in the third spot. Crew's getting the kite down. Setting up for a nice rounding. Rush Hour in fourth.
Crew weight nice and low to help the boat steer up.
Really long first beat, long first run, and short last beat. So really priorities to have a good start, get it all done on the first beat, and the leaders are just going to protect here, and it's really hard to pass on the last beat, obviously. Super short.
Moving to the outer course, we're joining the J70s and the J80s. J70s on their first downwind leg of the night. What are you seeing, Scott?
Great breeze. Current looks pretty slack. The ships are just starting to show a little bit of an ebb here. Tides have been really high with this low off the coast, so should be a little bit of an ebb. 419, Ray Wolf had a really nice drop, nice and early, no need to push it. It's going to have a nice beat here. Easy defense here, holding off the second place boat.
Kate Muller and Alan Terhune with Ian Coleman on the bow, and Alan's 2 kids aboard.
Henry Filter and team on the Wild Child. Great rounding, going upwind. Defending number 27 here. Pressure looks pretty even on this beat.
J80s on their first downwind leg. Ray Wolf will wrap up first. Alan and Kate Terhune second. And Phoenix coming back for third. J70s on their second start of the evening, and the battle for the pin is on. The Terhunes have already decided that they were too early. Ray Wolf also pushing the envelope. Our two leaders from the last race didn't make it through that start. T-Dance Snake will win the pin.
Yeah, big battle royale. Everybody set up a little early and no time and distance to burn, and over early and hitting the pin as well.
J80s learned from the 70s. They are farther away from the line. Maybe? 13-14 has gotten pushed over the line though.
I would say we're looking at a recall. Only
Oh!
all but 3 boats are over early.
It is a general recall, which doesn't undo the bit of a collision that we just had down here. Second attempt for the J80s, and there are still boats over early. Our heroes, Dan Wittig, pushed over the line. There's no way they're gonna dip that legally, right?
I wouldn't think so, but the other boats maybe have blocked them.
156, 13-14, go in.
They managed to sneak out of there. I think that was the magic unicorns that are shooting lasers out of their eyes on their shirts that made that magic happen, because they were not called over early.
Yeah, they must be lucky. They set up really early and obviously were over the line at probably 30 seconds, but did a really nice job doing basically a dip start. But I think they had a little bit of luck. The guys that poked it over early blocked them, but they eventually cleared and have a nice lead. They're just waiting for their time to cross. Mel Timmy with Mike Hobson up on his hip right now, has him blocked so he can't tack. So these guys need to get it in gear here.
T-Dance Snake out in the lead where they're much more comfortable. Last race they were trying to do a little wing on wing action, but the breeze has dropped out, so there's not enough pressure for that move anymore. The left paid big dividends. Dan Wittig, 13-13 in first place. Meltemi very close behind. What do they got to do to catch up now, Scott?
Dan and the guys are having a bad set, so if they have a good spinnaker set, they're going to be right on their tail. Dan coughed up a 6 boat length lead, and Hobson and the guys will be right on their tail. Let's see how their set goes. All right, not a bad set. Once they get the halyard up, they're still a length behind, so probably trying to set them up for the next jibe and see if they can get the pass.
Interesting, Dan Wittig and his team decided to jibe early, and Meltemi let them go.
Yeah, a bit of boat handling blunders for Dan Wittig and the guys. They had a bad set, and then obviously have cashed in 3 jibes here. Mike Hobson and the guys went to lay line, did 1 jibe, and have the lead. But interesting enough, the Dragonflies bringing nice pressure in from the left side of the course, looking upwind, and it's going to be a nice tight rounding at the bottom here.
Meltemi attempted a little wing action, and so did Dan Wittig. How did that go?
We'll see. I don't think Dan has the inside, so the wing held off, and it's a tactician's dream when you miss a lay line. Just wing it, stick it in there, held off the overlap, and he's going to round in first. Good battle for second or third here. Dan wounds a little wide and has to go outside of Mike. Third place is having a bit of a blunder with the kite, so they're going to have a hard time catching 1 and 2, but it's still a race on for the lead here, Ashley.
Another lead change. Meltemi is to the left of your frame, but Dan Whitting and team was able to have a better rounding and sail around them around the outside.
Yeah, great job by those guys. Again, it was a little bit of a boat handling blunder that caused the lead change. The Meltemi had an issue getting their kite down and were slowed around. Didn't have a lot of speed. Dan had a nice drop, sailed outside of him, and got the lead back. So interesting that boat handling caused both the lead changes in probably 10 knots of breeze, where normally it's a boat speed race.
So Dan Whittig with Grady Bias and Emerson Smith aboard Turbo Sloth will take the bullet in race 2.
Crump family tacking here is going to get the pass. Nice job hitting the favored side of the finish and getting the second place. Awesome job. Great family team. Look at those kids on the rail.
High fives. Who knew that 10 knots from the east would be such a gorgeous evening for sailing? What's something that we picked up from the J70s?
Yeah, I think the big thing watching the J70s, obviously it was a long course tonight, very short starting line, so starts were really paramount, and the guys were setting up a little bit early, and for me, in less than 10 knots, I think with the J70s and the J80s, keep your jib out so you have a little more boat control, and you work on your time in the entire pre-start sequence.
And on the downwinds, the jibes, late main jibes, right?
Yeah, I think in 10 knots, it's a perfect time to do late main jibes. J70s and the 80s, again, we're kind of rushing their jibes and turn the boat a little fast. They fill the mains, but the kites collapse. So the goal is really to jibe nice and slow, fill the kite, and then have your main come across and double bonus out at the end of the jibe.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Scott Nixon from Quantum. Thank you to the Boatyard Bar and Grill. Bruce Nairn, our producer from behind the camera for T2P TV. I'm Ashley Love. Good night.